Hello, my name is Michael Dumoulin, and I'd like to welcome you to our project titled AKA Bobby, the documentary.
Hi, my name is Robert Davidson, and this documentary is about my life. I'd like to read you something. This is my philosophy of my life. In the face of adversity, human beings do one of two things: crumble and give in, or become stronger and survive. I'm a survivor and have been able to move with the flow of life since my return from Vietnam. From hospital stays to therapy to making a life from what appeared to be ruins. It all runs in cycles. Sometimes we are in an upward cycle, and sometimes we seem to spiral downwards. But all of it is forward movement. I was 20 years old when I went in the Army. At 21, I had some pretty terrible things happen in Vietnam. And because of it, my first sergeant decided that I should go on a leave. So I went on a leave to Hong Kong. While there, I went to a hotel called the Mandarin Hotel, which was the only Chinese-owned hotel in Hong Kong at that time. I met three wonderful personalities. They were performers from a show called Les Girls in Sydney, Australia. It was a wonderful evening. It was beautiful, it was lively, it was beautifully costumed, and it was a welcome relief. After the show, I went up and introduced myself to them. And it turns out that one's name was Carlotta, the other one was Linda Lee, and the third one, I really can't remember her name. It might have been Monique, I'm not sure. But at any rate, they were delightful. But what I found out was that they actually weren't women. They were actually men in drag. And they weren't singing. They were lip-syncing to other people's music. But it didn't matter because the show was so good. Well, the next day they asked me if I wanted to meet them for breakfast, so I did. And while we were having breakfast, they decided that they were going to, I guess, pull a trick on this serviceman and this American. And they decided to ask me if I would mind if they put me in drag to see what I look like. Well, I was intrigued, so I said yes. I'm sure that took them by surprise. But it didn't take them by more surprise than when they saw me after they were finished, because they all gasped. I guess I was quite the looker. Of course, I was young and baby-faced. Well, that was 42 years ago. And that little act changed my life in such a dramatic way, and has enabled me to be the person that I am today, and the performer that I have been all these years.
So that meeting with the girls of Les Girls was the birth of Bobby. A few months ago, Bobby decided to submit an application, along with a video and CDs, to the Mardi Gras Committee in Sydney, Australia, to see if he would be accepted to perform at the world's largest gay pride event, Sydney Mardi Gras 2011. Bobby received an email of acceptance. He will be performing at the main stage and at the Mardi Gras stage in Sydney in February and March of this year. Bobby will be the only American performing at Mardi Gras. What makes this more interesting is that through the internet, Bobby was able to reconnect with Carlotta, who was one of the three performers of Les Girls in Hong Kong. Carlotta is the individual about whom Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, was based. Through Carlotta's team, he's been able to confirm that yes, it in fact is the same Carlotta as was in Hong Kong. And yes, he does remember the serviceman he helped put in drag all those years ago. And that yes, he'd be interested in coming to Sydney to meet with Bobby during the time that he is there.
So putting this documentary together it's a lesson in love, but more importantly, it's really about surviving post-traumatic stress disorder and the many ways that one can do that. I'm a survivor. This documentary might help to save somebody's life. I'm hoping. And if you look on your streets of your city, you'll see a lot of homeless vets going through the same things that I went through, but they didn't have the help that I've had. Extend your hand to them through this video, through this documentary, and we'll make it available so that no one has to suffer anymore. Thank you so much.